Okay guys, this is going to be a little bit video about base building and some information about the towers. I have all this information posted in our group, but I'm going to explain it to you a little bit more with some visual effects. This is going to be Sam's big base. It's her level 48. As you can see, I have completely removed every single tower off of her base except for her farms and lumber mills. We're going to rebuild Sam's base in this video, but I'm going to talk to you about some other things first. The first thing I want to talk about is some of these towers. I know we've talked about them a little bit before, but I have some stats here. The first tower that we're going to talk about is going to be your archer towers. This is your first attack tower that you get on your islands. This is the number 3 in base damage and number 2 in super shot tower. It has a defensive power of a light arrow, a super shot of a flaming arrow, and the flaming arrow deals high damage. So it has a high base damage, high super shot damage, and a high tower health when maxed. So this is just the stats off of a certain level tower, but they fluctuate obviously, but it's still like in ratio. So another thing we're going to talk about is spell vulnerabilities for each tower. The three main spells that we're going to talk about are projectile spells, and then the last one is an elemental spell. So there's going to be 4 total. So each tower is going to have these 4 spells that we're going to compare to. So for the archer tower, we're going to talk about invert, reverse, and wind wall for projectile spells, and then the last one is an elemental spell. It's elemental mayhem. So if a dragon casts invert, reverse, or wind wall, it is going to affect an archer tower. So as we go through, I'm just going to tell you whether it's affected by projectiles or not, and if it's affected elementally or not. So that's the first tower. Then you come across the cannon towers. I will throw an archer tower up here so you can see it. This is the archer tower. This is Sam's archer tower. This is a level 16. The next tower we're going to talk about is going to be the cannon towers. So cannon towers, I did not put one up, but this is the cannon tower. It is number 4 in base damage and number 6 in super shot. So it has the cannonball super shot, and its special ability is to break all shields, which is a super good reason to have them on your base because they can break the spells of dragons as they come flying into your islands. So keep that in mind as we're building this base. That is why we're going to be putting the cannons in certain locations. So the next tower that we will talk about is going to be the storm towers. Let me put this away. So storm towers are the next towers that you get. They are number 8 in base damage and number 8 in super shot damage. The reason storm towers are so important is because storm towers can make up to 6 nearby towers or perches invulnerable to damage and spells. Storm towers do not benefit from the shields of other storm towers, and you should put no more than 1 on each island. So the cool thing is, storm towers cast this invincibility shield, and it makes all the towers surrounding it invincible. So it sucks health and steals metals, and then it protects all the surrounding towers, making them invincible. So as there's a storm tower on the island, it's going to protect the towers around it, keeping those towers from being destroyed as quickly. So you're going to want to take out the storm tower if you're attacking and protect the storm tower if you're defending, because it's going to keep all of the other towers around it safe. One of the cool things is this tower is only affected by elemental mayhem spells. Most low-level dragons do not have the elemental mayhem spell, so they're going to be subject to damage from this tower without any aid from any spells around it. So that's going to be a really nice attribute to have for this spell, or for this tower, and keep that in mind as you're attacking bases as well. The next tower is the crappiest tower in the whole game. Don't build these because I will scream. Ballistas are junk. They are the worst towers in the whole planet. They have, oh my god, they have nothing. They are recommended to only be built to complete the base missions and then placed into storage. They have the lowest amount of base damage, and they are the second to lowest in super shot damage. They are projectiles, so they're subject to inversion and reversal. However, due to their low damage, they are in no danger of destroying themselves if those spells are cast. So basically what I'm saying is, don't build these towers on your islands. Build one and then put it into storage just to complete your base mission, and that's all you should have of them. That's it. That's the only thing. Please don't build them. Please don't build them. Again, please don't build them. I'll scream. So the next tower we're going to talk about is going to be a red mage tower. And the cool thing about red mage towers is they have this ability to block red spells, and they also can steal rage coming from dragons. Red mage towers do not stop the casting of red spells. They just stop red spells from penetrating their visible area of effect. So when you see a red mage tower, you will see, as it's on an island, it will be a circular area. I'll put one here so you can see. So you'll see it's going to cover the area around it in a circular motion, so it's going to cover the 4 towers. So they're all going to be blanketed underneath of the red mage towers area of coverage. So as you can see, I pull up this green bubble here, and it shows you that those are the 4 towers that are going to be protected. So any red spells cast, 2 towers in that bubble are safe from that red spell until that tower is destroyed. The red mage super shots are capable of penetrating any red spell like invert or reverse. So if you cast invert or reverse, or a dragon cast that, the red mage super shot is not reversed or inverted. It still shoots at the dragon. So that's also another good benefit of that. And they stop any rage from being generated and drains the rage from the dragon already had. So it's not going to do any damage to the dragon, but it is going to keep it from generating and building rage. It is not subject to any spells except for Wind Wall. So Wind Wall is the only spell that is going to stop the super shot of the red mage tower. So keep that in mind also as you're attacking. All of the things about these towers are good for attack and defense information, so please try to keep them in mind as you're going through and doing attacks and doing defense. The next tower is going to be the blue mage tower. Let me pull you up a blue mage tower here. This is just a little level 1, and that's okay because we're going to use it. So this is going to be the range of the blue mage tower. As you can see, it's pretty far. So the dragon is unable to cast any blue spells in the area of the blue mage tower. So this is going to be the range. So in this whole island, the dragon is not able to cast any blue spells when it's inside of this. If it casts it outside, as soon as it reaches these coverage areas, then it's going to be immediately canceled. The notes that I have says, when in range, dragons cannot cast any blue spells. Any blue spell cast prior will stop working as soon as the dragon comes into range. Vital to preventing warrior dragons with a strong shield from rolling through your base. Balance their use with cannons to keep shields down. Super shots will hit any dragon protected with a blue shield, draining rage and stopping rage regeneration. So the best thing about this is it is going to stop shields. This is why they are some of the most important towers to have on your base, is because they stop shields. Powerful dragons, like you've seen me use Sage, which is the green dragon that has Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm is a blue storm. I cannot cast Thunderstorm in any area of a blue mage tower. And so if they're placed at the end of the island, as soon as I make the rounding on the flight path towards that island, I'm immediately blocked from casting that spell until that tower is destroyed, leaving me vulnerable to all the other towers around, taking the damage from that. So that's that is why blue mage towers are super important. They do no damage, but they do steal and block rage, and they are only vulnerable to invert and reverse projectiles. So keep in mind that if you cast invert or reverse, then it's going to shoot the spell back at the mage tower, but it's not going to drain any health or anything from it because it does 0 base damage, so it's going to be just fine. So we're going to build Sam's first island to how her island should be set up, and yours are going to be built similar to this, just using a couple of different towers. The last tower that you should be able to build is going to be a trebuchet. And trebuchets really are not very good towers either. They are number 6 in base damage and number 4 in super shot damage. They stun the dragon when it comes in, keeping it from being able to do anything for just a quick second. But I also don't recommend using much of them. Maybe 1 or 2 throughout your base, but you really don't need them because as you get bigger, you're going to have the Dark Flak Tower, which is going to do the same thing. So what we're going to do first is in the middle of all of Sam's farms, because she is able to, we are going to build her a red mage tower. Actually, I'm just going to get one out of her storage. We're going to put this one here. This level 14 red mage tower. So it's not able to be destroyed immediately, but it is going to keep blanketing the towers around it so that Crumble to Dust can't be used to destroy those farms. So on this back island, because it is the home stretch island before you hit the main island, we're going to put in some strong defensive towers. We're going to put in some we're going to put in some cannons here. Okay. And then on the back of this island, I am going to put up some archer towers for her. Okay, so now that we have that island all put together, we're going to come around here to the next island. Now, Wraith was asking the other day about runes. Let's talk about runes really quick. Nobody should be equipping any runes on any of their statues because your base is going to change and move as you grow. So until you get into the level 100s, I don't recommend equipping any runes on any of the statues or towers or anything like that because you're just going to continue to move your bases around. As you get bigger and you get bigger towers, you're going to need to move things and make them better strategic layouts. So the only tower I even think is okay to equip any runes on is going to be this tower here. It's the first one. It's called the statues. And the only thing that you should be worried about putting on this is going to be runes that are for lumber mill. Like, see, Sam here has a rare lumber mill production. She could put that there. But I would not put anything else, nothing else. You could put lumber mill and farm ones, and that is it. That is all you need because the rest of them you're going to want to save for other things. So we'll put up some of Sam's runes here for her farms. And that's it. So none of the other, you don't need to put anything else up here. You can save some spots for other towers, but mostly the only ones you're going to worry about putting up here is going to be your healing striker glyphs or your rare lumber production, things like that. That's going to make your island a little bit stronger in the essence of your farms and mills only. Don't put anything else on there because you're going to be moving them. I can't stress that enough. Don't waste your runes. Please don't waste your runes, because you can get some really good runes. Some of them you don't need, like the poison striker glyphs or the poison runes, because those are for ballistas. You can take those in and salvage them. Here in the rune vault, you just go in and you select, let me see if she has any of the, okay, so like this one is legendary poison striker. She does not have ballistas. She is not going to have ballistas at all, so we're just going to go ahead and salvage this rune, and she's going to get 50k rune dust that she can use to upgrade her other runes. So you don't want to have, you don't need those. Those are good for getting extra dust to upgrade your runes. As you can see, some of them, let's see, what does she got? Okay, so this is her legendary cannon striker rune, and if it costs 151k dust to enhance. So that's why you just want to get rid of the runes that you don't need, like the ballista ones for sure you can get rid of. Other than that, hold on to them for a little while until you get a little bigger and you decide what you're finally going to be doing with your islands. So when we come around to Sam's second island, you'll see she already has her Sea Gazer perch built to a level 4. The higher you build your Sea Gazer perch, the better dragons you can put on it. Hers is only at a level 4, so she can only put up to, I do believe it's purple tier dragons. Let's look. See, you can go into it and you can see the dragon. So I changed it for her today, so I can't put anything new. But the only thing that, this is a red dragon, so she can only go up to purple at level 4, I do believe. That is used building black pearls. You get the black pearls from the gold chest mostly. They used to be in the event trees, but I haven't seen them there in a while. So on Sam's little island here, we're going to add a couple of towers that you guys really are not going to be familiar with because you don't have them yet. But I will show you what they do function-wise and what they look like. We're going to put her a dark flak cannon here. And an ice turret here. Where is your ice turret, Sammy? Now, the cool thing about ice turrets is they work similar to storm towers. They cast an ice shield around the tower surrounding them, kind of making it makes a shield around them, kind of like the storm towers does, making them invincible. The dark flak tower, on the other hand, works similar to a trebuchet and stuns the dragon. We're going to put a red mage tower here to protect them from using crumble to dust. And then we are going to put a higher level archer tower of hers here, because it has a fast super shot speed and is going to give lots of damage. And then here we're going to put a blue mage tower. Another higher level blue mage. I think we will put the dark flak away and put a fire cannon here. Just because the fire cannon is going to deal more damage. And the reason I put the red mage tower in the middle here is because it's going to surround all of the towers on this island. The blue mage tower doesn't necessarily need to go there because at the front of the island it's going to have a longer distance. And we can even move it to the back of the island because it's still going to stop any shields from being generated as soon as that dragon comes into range. So as you can see, we have 2 attack towers here, and then we have a defensive tower, and then we have the 2 mage towers. The cool thing about the elemental towers is they are not affected by any projectile spells or wind walls. The fire turret is the one of the strongest. It is the number 2 in base damage. So the cool thing about it is it is the strongest tower for base damage wise, because the super shot that is cast from it is gonna make the dragon not be able to resist as much damage. It's going to give it a stronger, I don't know how you would say, a stronger burning point, you could say, I guess, because the dragon is going to take more damage after it takes a super shot. It does have slow firing, but it hits like a train. So the super shot hits immediately and cannot be reversed or inverted, and when placed at the back of an island, its super shot can be triggered, causing the dragon to take more damage once it hits, allowing to recharge and fire its primary shot. So what we'll do is we will swap it to the back of the island. If I could click the right one. Alright, game. Alright, there we go. Nope. Alright, we'll swap this fire turret back here to the back of the island. And Blue Mage Towers, or not Blue Mage Towers, but Ice Turrets are number 5 in base damage, and number 5 in super shot damage. The attack slows down the dragon's attack while dealing damage. The super shot will shield nearby towers, but will not make them invincible, harder to kill. When paired with a high HP tower or farms and mills, the slowed attack and shield can be devastating. So we didn't pair it with the mills, but we did pair it with 2 high firing cannons. So we're going to move along to the next island here. Notice I'm not boosting any of her runes or anything like that. So we're going to start on the front end of this long island, and we're going to build her what's called a Rage Drain Island. A Rage Drain Island is good to have because it keeps the dragon from generating any rage, and it also steals some of the rage they already have generated. Now, when you build a Rage Drain Island, you're going to want to keep the rage towers, the mage towers at low level, so they can be destroyed in one shot and not anchor the dragon to that island. Because if the dragon cannot is anchored to this island, the effects are going to wear off sooner. Let's find another low level one. So another lowest level one that she has is a level 10. So we will put her a level 10. Now I'm not putting anything in the middle there because you want those towers to be able to be destroyed. But on the next island, we're going to put some high impact towers to keep the dragon able to take damage. So we're going to put up some high level archer towers. Where's your high level archers? Or a high level archer, only a level 13. I'll put here. Here we're going to put her dark flak tower because the dark flak tower is going to stun the dragon. In the middle of the island, we're going to put a storm tower. I think we might have a stronger one. We're going to put a storm tower to protect all the towers around it. If there's a 15. Yep, we're going to put this level 15 storm tower here. And then we're going to put some cannons here in the back. Put a level 17 here. And what do we have left in here to use? And we will put her another ice tower here. Now Sam does have lightning towers, but lightning towers are not super strong, so she doesn't even need to use them on her base. And even so, we could even move her Rage Drain Island to this island here, which isn't a bad idea if she wants to keep her island a little bit longer. We can do that for her just so you can see so you can kind of see how a bigger base would have their Rage Drain set up. They're going to be typically on this island. They're not going to expand any farther than that because we want to build stronger, not longer. And since we have done that, we're going to move this ice turret forward so that it's stopping shields sooner. We're going to move this cannon. We're not going to upgrade this cannon. We're going to move it. We're going to move this cannon to break shields. We are going to put another mage tower in here to stop them from shielding. Here on the back of the island, Sam does have lightning towers, so we can put up some higher level lightning towers back here. We're only going to put 2. You shouldn't be building any more than 3. Most recommend nothing more than 2, but they work better when they're grouped together. So we put her up some 2 lightning towers. Lightning towers are okay towers. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. I like them. Some people don't. Some of my bigger friends that play the game don't like them. So by itself, the lightning tower is number 7 in base damage and number 3 in super shot damage. 2 towers together makes it number 6 in base damage and number 2 in super shot damage. And 3 towers on the same island can amplify each tower by 30%. You can have more lightning towers than that, but they stop at the 30% amplifier at 3 towers. That is number 5 in base damage and number 2 in super shot. So these towers hit instantly and have the longest range. Better for the back line of defense, is only affected by elemental mayhem as well. So that's why I put them here in the back, because if you look when we select it, you're going to see how far of a range it has. So it's going to affect any dragons coming in past the front of that island. So we only put 2 together because it's still number 2 in super shot damage, which is our main concern, even though it's only number 6 in base damage alone. So we have those 2 in the back, and then all that's left up here is I'm going to put another red mage tower that she has here, and another tower to inflict damage. So you know what? Let's do this. Let's move this archer forward. We'll even do that, and then we will give her another lightning. Just because she doesn't have a lot built to work with, and I don't want to go in and build things on her island, because that's her baby. Okay, so this is an okay defensive setup given what she has. She's going to be able to stop the dragons from generating rage on that first island. The second one, she's going to be able to destroy any shields that they have coming in, which chances are they won't. But in case they do, she's going to be able to destroy shields and protect the towers around it with that ice turret. She's going to be able to block any additional rage. And then as they come through, they're going to take the damage from the storm tower and then the stun from the dark flak along with the lightning tower. As they come around and round into this next lighthouse island, she has the same thing here, blocking and damaging at the same time. So the fire turret is going to be one of the main weapons on this island because it's got a super, super strong super shot. And then as she comes around, she's just left with her final little last line of defense here, her red mage to block from any big spells, and then cannons and archers back here as well, so they can block shields and still take damage. Let's give her... We want to make sure she has some strong towers back here, so that way she is well taken care of. Because obviously, I mean, she still has to play on this base, and we want to make sure that it's set up good for her before we just leave her. Now here in the back, I have a high level archer and a lower level archer. So I'm going to move the lower level archer over here, where there's all this other attack power, because she's going to need the higher level attack here at the back of this island to try to help to kill off any last minute stuff. Well, why won't you swap? Maybe the game will let me. So that is the level 13 there. And we're going to put a... Oh, so they're both only a level 13. Okay. Okay, that's why. Because they're both only a level 13. So I thought the other one was higher. So as you can see, as I've explained, there's a strategy to setting up your base, you're going to want to set it up with based on what towers that you have, according to how the towers fire and things. You can find in the notes in the Dragon's Den what each tower does. I have a list of them all the way up to, I do believe, the fire and ice turrets information is in there, just not the dark flak. I'll be adding those later. So as you can see, we've reconstructed Sam's base. She has, she still has some work to do on upgrading some things, but she's sitting at a pretty decent setup right now, and she doesn't need to build her base any longer over to any of these islands, anything like that. It's just not necessary. Okay guys, I hope this was helpful to you about a little bit of base building and some information about each tower. As I always say, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Send me some screenshots of your bases and I'll look at them. Some things like that, anything that you need to know. This should basically have covered anything, and like I said, I have the notes. And I do believe everything else is copacetic. Remember, don't equip any runes, because it's just going to be wasted as you move your base around even more as you grow. The only thing that you should even be worried about is just your production ones. You could put them on this tower here, but other than that, don't equip anything else. No ballistas at all. None, no ballistas, because they suck terribly bad, and everybody will tell you that they suck terribly bad. So just please don't waste your resources and your time building them. Other than that, if you guys need anything else, like I always say, just let me know.